Hello and welcome. Welcome to Trucking Answers. It's the Sunday Rant. And not a lot of cars hanging out around town today, so we're going to get right into it. I don't know if you saw this on the news. So Schneider National's in the news. $47 million jury verdict. Why? These are the kind of things that these companies gripe about, where the government needs to intervene. Oh, it's wrong to have these verdicts. So, according to the article, one of the Schneider drivers swerved across a road, causing an accident where a person died, right? Not great. Now, this driver, couple months at Schneider, 4 total months, though, since he's had his license. And if that's not bad enough, right, where he's on his own, and we'll get to that in a minute, why that's bad, but this driver, in the days before the accident, had done a video himself, what they said, on how to back a trailer up. And he hit a pole in his own video. Why would you post that, by the way? Wouldn't you I'm going to delete that maybe and try another video. Anyways, but today people are stupid. They post anything. Oh, here's my lunch. Right, right, okay, crazy. Also, in the day before the accident, because they go back and get all these records, this is what I'm telling people, right? They got his phone records, and he had taken 22 phone calls or so. 27 phone calls, right, in the 22 hours prior to the accident. So he had no meaningful sleep time, because apparently these are not like 2 seconds. These are calls. Also, who gets 27 phone calls in a day? Who are you talking to? All right. And if that's not even bad enough, he was, according to them, on some kind of improvement plan. And Schneider, which I didn't know, although I guess I should have figured, these big carriers, they have some kind of software that predicts who's going to have a crash. Kind of like Minority Report. So they can talk about what you're going to do in the future. And they said, oh, apparently this guy is going to have a crash soon. That's what it said in there. And of course they deposed the driver and everything. And he said, oh, I was, having problems, and they didn't give me any help or anything. And he'd been warned many times about driving and had all these critical events. And yet what? He's still driving for them or for anybody. And then the companies have the gall, the unmitigated gall, to come out and say, hey, government, these $47 million, this is crazy. Why should we have to pay these? This is why. So in my opinion, it's way small. It should be 10 times that amount. Okay, it's the only way these companies are ever going to learn. You cannot put people out here with no experience, throw them out there, and then somebody that you even know has problems, that you have on improvement plans, and they know they have critical events and all these kind of problems, and then they have an accident. You're like, oh my gosh, the government needs to limit the amount of money. No. The government should double the amount of the lawsuits automatically as some kind of fine. Because all this does is ruin the entire industry for everybody else. Do you think it would have been cheaper for them to let this person go? You're at will. Okay, I'm not an attorney. Okay, but you're at will. They can go, hey, you're fired. Just like that. They don't have to have an improvement plan or anything. They just go, you know what, get lost. By the way, he was later fired from Schneider, not for this event. By the way, I say by the way a lot on this. Okay, so when he was asked initially, he said he was nowhere near the area of this. He was somewhere else. Okay, and then they had to locate the truck and everything to say, oh, okay, maybe it is him. Later, only a couple months later, he was fired from Schneider for what? Accidents? No, they just keep him for that. He had a positive on a drug test. Okay, so he got fired for that, for meth. Love it, right? If you're going to do something, do meth. That's the new motto. And it was a hair sample. So he paid to have the second sample tested. Because I've never had a hair sample done. But I assume it's the same as a urine test where it's split into 2 parts, right? So I guess they take 2 hairs at the same time. He paid to have the second sample tested. And what happened? Oh, that came out positive also. Love it. So he got fired for that, not for anything else. This is the real problem in the industry. Trucking should be like a plumber or an electrician. You shouldn't be 3 weeks. It should be years. Years before you are considered a professional. The people you see out driving by themselves, you should be able to look at them and go, all right, this person had a lot of training, not 2 weeks of training. As you go through becoming an electrician, a journeyman electrician, you're an apprentice, and then you're fired. Okay, wrong show. Then you move up and you're watched by people that know what they're doing. They don't come by later, right? They check your work. It's always checked. Everything's checked. You're tested and retested. And so that's when you get to become a journeyman in these trades, an actual trade, you actually know what the heck you're doing. And that's why you earn good money. Here in trucking, 3 weeks, oh, I'm a driver. And then big companies are like, oh, sure, you can just do whatever you want, just drive anywhere. No problem. You got your license. I have always said, right, the license should be graduated, and you should have to work up to becoming a solo driver where you can control the truck and you are a professional. This kind of garbage that, it isn't just Schneider. We're picking on them, or I am today, because of the lawsuit that came out. But it isn't just them. It's a lot of these carriers, tons of them. They do the same kind of thing. Couple weeks, whatever, month or two, and you're fine. Hey, go drive. And it didn't actually say whether he had any training from Schneider at all. I assume he did because he had very minimal experience, but I don't know. And it's not enough. It isn't enough. Once you put somebody on an improvement plan, they have accidents or they have incidents, and your own software, why do you have the software if it predicts crashes and then you keep people anyway? What is the point of the software? And that's why they lose these lawsuits, and deservedly so. So when you have all this and you keep somebody, then they have an accident and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that guy that had 12 incidents and our own software said he was going to have a crash. I can't believe he actually had a crash. Yeah, he didn't actually crash. He caused other people to crash, which caused the death of a person. And it didn't have to happen. This doesn't have to happen. But companies, as they say in the industry, right, put profits over people. It doesn't have to happen. That's why these judgments should be 10 times. It should have been $470 million, not $47 million. It should be way more so that they learn, because this is still small potatoes to a big potato like Schneider. Okay? It's still small potatoes. It needs to be more, and people need to get on them. And the whole industry needs to change for the better so that the people that are out here are real professionals that have to prove their skills. Otherwise, they don't get out there on their own. What do you say? Am I right? Of course I'm right. Because this shouldn't have happened. This accident didn't need to happen, and it shouldn't have happened. That person should still be alive today. Because this driver had no business, in my opinion, being anywhere near a truck. He shouldn't even be a passenger in a truck. That's how poor of a record he had. And the other thing is, look, if you've done meth or been around somebody that does meth. That's all I'm saying. So why would you go retest it? I just don't get it. And he said he only paid $30 for it. So I wonder if he could tax deduct that. I don't know. I know this. I want that judgment to be way more. To get these companies to finally do the right thing and only put professionals behind the wheel. Not inexperienced people that are on improvement plans that have software that says they're going to crash. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back soon, professionally, on another Trucking Answers.